Hello, shalom, salom, and hola. Welcome to the Hot Jewish Podcast. I'm Michael, aka Hot Jewish Energy. I am your host. You probably already know that. I don't know where this episode will be in the season, but hi, welcome. It is pretty late. I think, is this the latest recording I've done? I don't think so. No, this isn't the latest recording I've done. I've done later ones, but yeah, welcome. I just got back from Boston. I took a little trip with my mom, which was a lot of fun. She had a little conference, so I tagged along with her, and it was I mean, I'm a New Yorker. I love New York, so Boston, I'm sorry you don't compare. Sorry. But it was really nice. I went to Salem for one day, which was fun, witchy, very, very interesting. I had a really good coffee and some Belgian waffles and some really good mac and cheese. So I was pretty satisfied. We were supposed to go to Martha's Vineyard one of those days, but the weather was terrible. So it got canceled. So we went to the museum instead, which was a lot of fun. We went to the, oh my God. Yeah, the Museum of Fine Art. Yeah, the MFA in Boston, which was a lot of fun. Very cool to see all the different pieces. And I came back yesterday. We weren't planning on it, but we took the ferry from Bridgeport, which is a town in Connecticut, to Port Jefferson, which is on Long Island, which is where I live, and we cut all that NYC traffic, and we did not hit as much traffic as we thought we would, which was really nice. It was around $100 to take the ferry, but honestly, so worth it. It was really, really fun. It was actually really pretty, and I loved it. It was a great time, and I am happy to be back in New York. Like I said, I love New York, and it's the place to be. But enough about me. We are going to bring on our amazing guest tonight, or whatever time you're listening to this. I mean, for me, it's tonight. But we're going to be bringing on an amazing guest. His name is Max Rotenberg. I don't know if you guys know him. I know him from TikTok. He had a phenomenal TikTok account. Think I'm reading it off correctly because it's one of those interesting usernames which I used to have. It is maxr_LMAO. That is what his TikTok username used to be. Unfortunately, he did get suspended. But he is on Instagram and he's just going about his regular life. He's pretty young, and from the content that I've seen of his, because when I got on TikTok back in 2021, he was posting some really, really good content. He very informational about Jewish history, culture, rise in antisemitism, why a lot of anti-Israel propaganda is very much rooted in anti-Semitism, and he was slaying. I felt really, really upset when he unfortunately got suspended, which was really, really upset. He had some really good content, and some anti-Semites felt that they wanted to get rid of him, unfortunately, which is what happens to a lot of Jewish creators. So they mass report you and you're gone. So very, very sad. But I've been kind of telling him that I really want him to come back because I really miss his content. But obviously, I don't want to pressure him. He should come back when he's ready to. And you guys are listening to the Hot Jewish Podcast with our guest for this episode, Max Rotenberg. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I am here with Max Rotenberg.
Hi.
So we were actually, just before we got on, we were just talking about how he's very young and he's in school. I'm 23. You're 19. You're still in school, which is crazy. I'm actually about to go back to school. I'm going for my master's. So
that's incredible.
I'm nervous, especially with everything that's happening with the campuses and everything, and how very you know it all too well.
Yeah.
But so you're from Canada.
Yeah.
So why don't you give everyone a glimpse, because I know a lot of people who are listening or watching are primarily in the States. So why don't you give everyone a glimpse into what it's like growing up as a Jew in Toronto, what life like was like at home with family and everything growing up.
Okay, so I guess the closest equivalent of growing up in Toronto specifically would be New York, except there are obviously a lot less Jews in Toronto than New York.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are some areas that are known to be predominantly Jewish, for example, like Thornhill. Um, there's private Jewish schools.
Okay.
There's a lot of synagogues
Mm-hmm.
within the Jewish areas, but also some elsewhere. I guess I consider to not have the average Jewish kid experience. I didn't go to school surrounded by other Jews. I was one of the only Jews, if not the only Jew, for many years in school. Just went to public school like everyone else. I went to Hebrew school on the weekends with my cousin, learned to read and write Hebrew. Not so much the language, but I'm practicing to get better at it. Um, had my bar mitzvah. Um, and yeah, I went to synagogue for the holidays for the most part and had Shabbat dinner at my grandparents' house. And other than that, life seemed pretty normal. But I did notice, like, since I was very young, there were some issues, and I didn't really understand them in elementary school. It was more once I got to high school, I began understanding like what people were saying to me. Like when someone said Jesus killer, I'm like, I didn't kill Jesus. I'm like 10 years old. And then when I got to high school, I realized like they meant Jews because I was a Jew. And then realizing that it doesn't only come from white supremacists as well. My school had a lot of like immigrant families, and that wasn't an issue, but some of them, they had ideas that are predominant in the countries they came from. For example, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They they were talking about Palestine and Israel, and they made it my problem for being the Jew, and
Mm-hmm.
they just like projected all that onto me.
Mm-hmm. That must have been really, really tough.
Yeah, it was definitely like tough to get used to and understand
Mm-hmm.
why it was all happening.
Yeah, I I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to grow up in the public school system. I ended up going uh, when I went to high school, but I grew up in the yeshiva system, and if anything, it was the opposite of you. I was shielded from everything because I didn't realize how much hate there was until pretty recently, which is weird to think about. But yeah, so what what was it like at home for you with your talk about your family more, because like your background, do you really identify with your with like the heritage? Because I know a lot of people, they really love going deep into their heritage and going way back. Are you one of those people, or you kind of just keep it capped at?
So for me, it's kind of a little bit complicated. My family wasn't like super religious.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously we went to synagogues for the holidays and the Hebrew school and everything. Um, but yeah, I was always just identified as Jewish. Like
Mm-hmm.
growing up, I think the first time I heard the term like Ashkenazi or Sephardic and the different types of Jews was probably in like grade six in Hebrew school on the weekend. Um, and before that, I didn't really understand. Like I knew there were Jews from different places and like we're pretty much the same, but we do things a little bit differently here and there, but like we're all Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's just kind of how I grew up because my dad's side of the family, they were all like, they never really stayed in one place for more than one generation at a time. The only side of the family I can really trace back generations is the Dutch Jewish side, and they're mixed Ashkenazi and Sephardic, which was pretty rare for Dutch Jews. They normally stayed separate. Um, but I can trace that back to the 1700s, which is surprising. And that's the farthest back I can go because they kept records. The rest is generally Soviet. That side is pretty blurry. I have like blood relatives from Ukraine, Russia, and Uzbekistan. We have no idea like how exactly the mix came to be, but yeah. Um, so I'm like third generation Canadian, and I
Oh
just
wow.
grew up with like a lot of different aspects of Jewish cultures into one. So I don't specifically identify with one diaspora country over another. It's more just like I'm Canadian, I'm Jewish.
Yeah. I definitely I feel that because I I'm first generation technically. My mom came here from Iran and my dad came here from Cuba. He converted, but my my mom, I can't even trace back to her grandparents really. She doesn't really know because she never even met her grandparents because her grandparents died when my grandmother was very young, so obviously she never knew them. And I've been just like so interested in tracing it back. It's really nice that you can at least trace it back that far, like a couple of 100 years. Me and a lot of other people can't even do that. And we're left wondering, like, wait, have we been here the entire time? What was there like a pattern? But that's that's nice that you have at least some knowledge of that, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really one of the things I try to stick to, the one side of the family that I can measure back,
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of like all I really have to base like what I can think of where my family was in the diaspora on.
Okay.
And it's really sad that a lot of people can't do that really, besides fleeing the last place they were to come to like the United States or Canada or Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been shoved in 50 million places, which is it's like they want us to go back to Europe, but then Europe doesn't want us, and they want us to go back to Israel, and then they don't want us in Israel, so they say go back to the United States, and it's like back and forth and back and forth, and I'm just like, where the fuck do you want us to go?
Yeah. Into
Like
the sea.
into the sea. That's into the Mediterranean Sea. You know what? I'm gonna swim and have hot girl summer, hot Jewish summer, hot Jewish
Hot
summer,
Jewish energy.
hot.
Absolutely.
Hot Jewish energy, hot Jewish summer in Israel. That is my plan. Yeah. So I know you had mentioned to me when you sent me about your info and everything and what we wanted to talk about and everything. You had mentioned that you had a pretty interesting journey with your sexuality. So
Yeah.
how how did that all start? And then once we get through that, has it really melded into your Judaism in any way, or it's that's pretty a pretty separate part of yourself?
So I've known something was different since I was pretty young. Like, um, when I was a really small kid, I didn't know that I could have a crush on other boys. I thought crushes was only for girls. And I didn't realize until later that I had crushes on some boys in my like younger years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also had crushes on some girls, which was confusing because later when I was growing up, like grades 6, 7, and 8, I was really starting to figure myself out. And I'm like, what do I identify as? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not straight clearly, but I don't fully know if I'm just gay or bisexual. So I just said I'm bisexual and I'll figure it out later. Um, and that's pretty much how it was until grade 9. I had some like experimenting, as people often do. Um, and then by grade 10 or 11, I just realized, you know what, I'm not really actually into women or girls. It's just, I guess, what I thought I had to be, or what like internalized something. And I'm really only into uh, other males.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Judaism, it was at first it was conflicting. I'm like, everyone's saying like it's like absolutely against like Jewish law. You can't be Jewish and queer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm too young for this. I'll figure it out later. And then um, within the last couple of years, I've actually been researching a lot more and understanding more about Jewish identity. You don't have to be religious to be Jewish. I was born Jewish. I'm ethnically Jewish. I'd practiced the culture. And then I started to really look into it, like what are the actual religious laws? And even now, still, there are some debates. A lot of people will still say it is strictly against the Torah, while others are now arguing, well, hold on a minute, there's the like exception of human condition and this and that, and people can't control how they're born. So it's an ongoing discussion. But for me, it doesn't. I don't really have to separate them too much to identify as a gay Jew.
I think that's very helpful for a lot of people to hear, because especially people who are more religious, are more observant. I don't like saying more religious, I said more observant, and they kind of feel like they have to choose one or the other, which really, really sucks, because you shouldn't have to. It's what makes you you. You can't change it. And yeah, that's I kind of it's interesting that your journey was kind of similar to my journey, but then added some when I everyone's probably going to hear this in another episode when I talk about my journey, but long story short, very confusing in yeshiva. I did things that I shouldn't have been doing when I was 13. But that made me realize that yeah, I'm definitely not straight. I don't know what the fuck I am, but we're just gonna be sad about it. And I was pretty lost all throughout high school after I left yeshiva, and yeah, when I got into college is when I really kind of figured out what I wanted and how I wanted to go about it. And it's interesting because I thought I was only into men for a while, and then one night I got very, very drunk and I kissed a girl and I liked it, and then we kissed again when I was sober and I liked it. So
Just like the song goes.
I thank you. Yeah, Katy Perry said it best. I kissed a girl and I liked it. And now it's just been kind of teeter-tottering, because I'm sure you, I don't know if you've had this, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I don't know if you've had this struggle where, especially in the gay community, you either have to be fully masked,
Oh, absolutely.
or you have to be very feminine. There's no in between. It's just you either have to like wear
It's very
makeup.
toxic.
Yeah. It's like the gay men now I'm talking about my relationship problems. The gay men aren't into me because I'm not feminine enough and I'm not masculine enough, so the twinks don't bother with me and the doms don't bother with me either. So it's just very
That's like a big problem. Like I don't know where it started or where it came from, but it's
have you had that problem? I don't know how it is in Canada,
but I've seen it.
Okay.
Like even here in Canada, I've definitely seen like people's attitudes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are my dogs. Okay. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know if other people watching have had that problem, but it's just
I feel like what it is, it's internalizing like heteronormativity. And I know that sounds like the most pretentious thing to say, but it's almost like people think there has to be a masculine and a feminine like person in each relationship. Instead, there could be one or the other or both or in between.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually that's pretty good reasoning. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna think about it and then potentially use it. A lot of people, I'm assuming, who are watching, I mentioned it before, they don't know you, because now my presence is primarily on Instagram. But when I was on TikTok, when I got started, you were pretty big. You had a lot going on. You had a lot of videos up that were really, really great. You had a pretty good following from what I remember, and you were killing it. And then when did that journey start on social media for you?
So this kind of started in like late high school when I decided like I've had enough of people making me being a Jew my problem, because they can't stand that I am a Jew and I'm not trying to hide my identity and that I have relatives who live in Israel, which is our homeland. I'm like, all this misinformation that is being spewed in the hallways at school that I'm hearing just something needs to counter it to add balance to the discussion and not make it the problem of Jewish students who either feel a connection to their homeland or are simply accused of supporting every action of their homeland just for being Jewish. So by grade 11, things were getting like probably to their peak, and I'm people were coming up to me saying my people stole Palestine, that I have to be anti-Zionist to be a good Jew in the demographic. And that's even sometimes continued today. Like I was, this happened a few months ago, actually. I was talking to this guy. We're not still talking, so it's okay. But he told me his friend asked him to make sure I'm not a Zionist because he should avoid those. I'm like, okay, this is not going far.
That that's just no. That's no.
So yeah.
How is it? I'm gonna segue it back to relationship stuff. How has it been for you as someone who's very openly Zionist, very openly Jewish? How has it been for you on the dating scene? Because for me, it's I thankfully I haven't encountered anyone who wants me like dead, but
It's
uh,
definitely been a roller coaster. There have been some who are like fully understanding and they're open to hearing points and they're not trying to make it my issue and they understand the Jewish perspective and that's fine. There are others who are just like completely insane and I'm like, we have to stop talking. Like you're supporting terrorist attacks on my people. Um,
oh Lord,
Yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster. One of my exes, actually, I'm not going to say his name, but
you shouldn't. I
yeah.
think I don't name. I for everyone, if you've already seen this episode or not, I do not name exes. You can go on a deep dive if you want to, but I don't name exes. My one ex.
Well, anyways, he used to be an anti-Zionist, and he said my TikTok videos like helped him get a better insight.
uh, that's okay. There's progress there.
And this was before he met me. Like
Okay.
he said he's seen my videos before we started talking, which was honestly kind of a relief, so that I didn't have to like make sure I'm okay.
You know what? If at least if someone's willing to hear you out, like I can't with people who just don't want to hear what you have to say if you are making valid points, and that's just no. But
Yeah. And then, so by the end of grade 11, or 11th grade, as Americans say, or junior year, I started it probably around second semester. And I made my first video after only being active in comment sections. And 16-year-old me was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I started making videos without my voice in it, just posting like um, information
mhm.
to songs or whatever. And then by grade 12, I'm like, this isn't doing enough. So then I started actually making videos with me talking and having to explain things and stitching videos. And then it just went from there. And then it took a while to get to 1,000 followers. And then
Oh
once I
wow.
did, I was like, I'm so happy. I'm like the happiest person in the world. People are like changing their perspectives. And then after another year, the beginning of first year university, that's when it really started to kick off. I hit 5,000 followers. I'm like, this is amazing. Then within another month, it was at 6,000. And then by January, I was almost at 8,000.
Oh wow.
And, um, I was being followed by people who I looked up to, also posting similar content. And then in February or March of 2022, my account got banned.
I remember that.
Yeah. So,
You remember me messaging you because I hadn't been on TikTok in like a hot second, and I think I looked back at a video where I tagged you because I saw the video that you made about how actually I can't remember which video it was, but it was the first time that I saw that they had the Holocaust disclaimer at the bottom. And then I tagged you. I was like, "Damn, I was watching this video and then I saw that his video and then I saw this and it was really cool." And then I looked back on that video, I pressed the link and nothing came up and I was like, "No."
yeah. So it got
Did
reported so many times.
did you attempt to revise? Did you attempt to appeal it?
I did, and I never heard back from them. They didn't even say it was denied or anything, just no response. So then I started my second account. Um, that one actually gained a lot of traction a lot quicker. By August of 2022, I was back up at 8,000.
Oh, wow. So was I following the first account or the
You
second
were
account?
both.
Both. Okay.
Um, and yeah, so I caught up to where I was. I was exceeding it. And then again in September, that account got banned. And I was like, I don't know how many more times I can do this. I mean, like, I'm happy I reached at least 8,000 people who are
Yeah.
like understanding different perspectives of Israel and Palestine and the Jewish perspective.
Mhm.
And I'll just anti-Semitism in general, because that's so important as it's rising. And then, so I decided to start a third account. And then
Oh my
that
God.
lasted maybe a few weeks. It got to like 1,200 followers. I had maybe like a few videos. That one taken down. I wasn't given the option to appeal it even. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done making videos on TikTok. And
Uh,
then, yeah, I just became more active on Twitter.
how has it been on Twitter for you?
Actually, a lot better.
Okay.
It's a lot harder for your stuff to get taken down if you aren't like actually spewing harm against other people,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't doing on TikTok either, by the way, for anyone listening. Um,
I'm just gonna make it clear we are not inviting anti-Semites here on the podcast. He is very much Jewish. Continue.
so yeah, Twitter's a lot more like free. You can reach a lot more people more quickly,
Mm.
I feel like. Yeah, I've just been having a better experience.
I know we talked about it when we were DMing, but would you consider all the older videos that you had, taking them and either making your account now on Instagram into what you had on TikTok or making a separate account? Have you thought about it?
So I went to look back and turns out none of my old videos were saved to my camera roll. So I was extremely disappointed. But I am still thinking about maybe making an Instagram account and starting to post again.
I think you should. I think you're gonna have better luck on Instagram because the only things that my experience, I haven't had too negative of an experience when talking about things, because as long as you put a disclaimer or you make it very clear that you're just educating people, they're pretty okay with that. But I'd be your first follower. I, I told you I would promote the shit out of that account. We need accounts like that. You're very very resourceful. I'm interested to know, where do you get all your information from? Where do you do your research? Because I do not have the mental capacity to know how much you know.
I actually get this question a lot. Google has a lot, but with Google, you have to know what you're looking on.
Uh huh.
JSTOR has a lot of primary sources and reliable secondary sources, and luckily I can use my school account to like log in and get access to almost everything. But even without it, you can still find a lot of just like even in the previews of articles, you don't have to look at the whole thing. It has a lot of information that you can use. Um, it depends what you're looking for as well.
Because
Historical organizations,
yeah.
like their official pages, have a lot of
Mm.
resources and informations.
Because
Uh,
you have a very vast knowledge. You have a vast knowledge that most people, especially your age, don't have. I mean, and you didn't go to like full yeshiva where you're learning history and everything, and you it's just some people who went to like full yeshiva like all day every day 24/7, like they don't know half the stuff that you know, which is it's really admirable.
Thank you. Part of it was because I decided to make it not my problem for being a Jew, and I'm like, I need to like be able to combat all these claims people are
Uh-huh.
making. So then I just decided, I'm going to start researching everything.
Okay. So JSTOR, for people that are watching that. Unfortunately, you can't watch any of Max's videos anymore because they're gone, but that's pretty much where you've gotten most of your information, correct?
Yeah, also Britannica Encyclopedia,
Okay.
Brill, all those good databases. That's the
So
word.
you're not really looking at any like news sources like I-24 or Jerusalem Post or
It really
Times of
depends
Israel.
on the context. Like
Okay.
if you're looking for current events, news sources are definitely the way to go.
Okay.
But it's good to get a wide variety of news sources.
What are news sources? I know a lot of people have a really tough time finding valid news sources. Which ones would you recommend and which ones would you steer away from?
This is really complicated because on a lot of like news outlets that I look at, different authors say completely contrasting things, like one article after the other. Jerusalem Post is generally very reliable, even though a lot of people consider it like because it's an Israeli newspaper, they would consider it Zionist and biased. And it might be, it definitely has the potential to be biased because it is Israeli. It's
Mm-hmm.
generally very reliable in terms of current events. Reuters sometimes they're like hit or miss. Um, the big ones like ABC, BBC, there it depends.
Okay.
Yeah, you really just kind of have to be able to read and look at the specific article.
Okay. Definitely not Al Jazeera.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, we
Qatari
don't.
state media.
Oh my god, neurotic Jewish gay literally bashing Al Jazeera anytime she can. And
Good though, like
oh my god, I love
holy
her.
shit.
She's just like Qatari state media, and I'm just like, that. Yes, girl, get it. Yeah, we don't read that trash in this household. But how obviously, since you've gone through the motions over and over again of being banned, and this happening to a lot of other creators, do you feel after having gone through all of this that social media has become anti-Semitic in a way?
Anti-Semitism has definitely increased.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say whether apps specifically are inherently anti-Semitic. Some apps, specifically TikTok, they do have, it seems, a greater allowance for anti-Semitism versus people combating that and like disputing these claims,
Mm-hmm.
which is very unfortunate. And it can definitely seem as though the app itself is anti-Semitic. And I feel like there needs to be some looking into that. Either the creator, whoever owns the app now, I think it's a company called ByteDance in China. I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. So it should definitely be monitored.
Yeah.
Instagram as well. I know they generally do a good job at removing posts,
Yeah.
but sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's really hard to say.
Yeah. Um, no, that's fair. That's a fair point. Um, yeah, the amount of crap that TikTok lets, they're planning on banning it here in the States.
I've heard that, and
Yeah.
I feel like they've been saying that for years as well.
I mean, it almost got banned when Trump was in office. They almost banned it, but it never went through. And now I think I think it was in Montana they banned it. They plan on banning it, or they already have. I can't remember. But you know what? Fuck TikTok. I
I
want
know,
Vine. I
like
want Vine back. I want Vine. Do you remember Vine, or were you too
I
young for Vine?
loved Vine.
Okay.
I loved all the Vines.
Oh my god. I That was like peak social media. If Vine, Vine walked so TikTok could run, but TikTok is just
Falling
especially
behind.
it's so cluttered now. I don't like going on it anymore because it's just overwhelming. It's become like Snapchat now. It's too much. I barely post on TikTok anymore. It's really just mainly Instagram now. But yeah, I don't blame I don't blame you for getting off of TikTok. That place is just well,
It's
you weren't
insane.
you didn't get well you didn't choose. I shouldn't have said that. You didn't choose to come off of TikTok. You were booted off, but you made a good decision not coming back.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the audience that you gained on TikTok, are you hopeful that you'll find that same audience on Instagram if you did come back?
I definitely hope so. One thing that I really liked about TikTok is I had a lot of mutuals who I was actually pretty close with. Like we talked on a regular basis
Mm-hmm.
and sent funny videos, and a lot of them are on Instagram too, and we follow each other. But just the community, I'm I feel like we could make that back on Instagram.
Yeah, you're a very relatable person, especially being queer and Jewish. That's a very you have a you have a very you're I'm gonna be upfront with you. You're probably gonna get a lot of creepy men. I'm telling you.
Oh my God,
I'm
don't even get
telling
me
you.
started.
You're gonna get you're 19. They start hitting you up when on your 18th birthday. It's the most disgusting thing, but you're gonna get a lot of older men. Yeah, I can tell you up front that the amount of times that has happened to me.
Oh my God.
But it's okay. I got you. I protect you. Your little baby. It's okay. But is there is there anything that I'm missing? I feel like we I've definitely asked you everything that I want to ask you. I love that you were able to give everything in detail. Is there anything for everyone that's listening? What do you want them to know about you that they might not see online?
Some people might not know, but I've definitely mentioned it before. I have ADHD.
Okay.
Um, and hereditary anxiety disorders, but like we don't need to get into that. That's like normal. Um, so it definitely affects how I socialize in
Mm-hmm.
real life. It takes me a little longer to get comfortable enough to fully open up around people. And I guess it was easier in front of a camera because I'm not seeing who I'm talking to really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just, yeah, there's a
That's
softer side to me.
no, that definitely you're I mean you're very relaxed. You're very like I've told you this I don't know how many times. You're very knowledgeable. Like you know what you're talking about and you give comfort to people that you know what you're talking about because a lot of creators online they can be I mean sometimes I even do this and I it's even when I know what I'm talking about but I just can't convey it well and people just don't resonate with it what I'm telling them and it's tough but you definitely have a way of you hold yourself very well
Thank you.
and I I hope you come back online because it would really I think a lot of people would love to see that and we definitely need another queer Jewish voice like yours.
Well, now I'm like definitely considering it more serious after
Yeah.
this podcast.
What
Yeah, I'll
are
just figure things out.
so what yeah once you're figuring that out what are next steps for you going forward now?
Um,
Like, what are plans for when you're done with school, God willing? What's the 411?
so as of now, my plan is to just continue with my degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll specialize maybe in fourth year, um, and decide from there what I'm going to do, like as a full time career. But I definitely want to keep like education on anti-Semitism and Jewish life and Israel a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
This year, even during my school year, I was fellow for Stand With Us, and that was
Oh
actually
wow.
a super incredible experience. I got to have like events on campus and just start changing the conversation on campus and make it a little friendlier to Jewish and Israeli students and open the dialogue. And it actually went really well. I found a student who's going to replace my spot next year, and I said I'll totally help her out. So I'm just going to keep that going. Um,
Have you thought about applying for Jewish on campus?
Actually, maybe like a year or two ago, and then I
Mm-hmm.
just never
You should.
did.
I did it. It was Julia's. She's really great. I know her. Micah, who's also on there, really great. Michal too. They're all really great. If you ever if you're ever thinking about it, I'll text them and I'll let them know that you're gonna apply.
All right, absolutely. I'll think about that.
You should. It's a for everyone watching, really great organization. They help combat anti-Semitism on student camp on why am I saying student campuses? Help combat anti-Semitism and support Jewish students on college campuses and universities, which is really, really cool. And they're in affiliation with World Jewish Congress, Next Gen, which really, really great organizations too. But yeah, you should definitely think about doing it. I think you'd be a really good fit.
That's incredible. Thank you.
I think that's it. I hope that everyone watching and listening got a taste for who Max is. I've known him for a while now. I've known him for about, oh my gosh, almost 2 years.
That's crazy.
Insane. I came on TikTok overnight. My video crying overnight.
I remember that video.
You were, oh my God. That was,
it was like, it's camp.
It's camp now, but in the moment, I have to say, I was really upset because all these people.
I know, like, we felt it. We felt what you were going through.
But now
we were trying to support you, and everyone in the comments was just like, look at this crying Zionist.
Crocodile tears. I remember that. I had to go to class the next morning, and some people were like, what the fuck is going on with him? And I'm just like, I'm pissed. I'm upset about all of what's happening. But it was people like you and other creators like you who just made me feel comforted. And I'm glad that my run on TikTok was great. Now that's done. I go on there, I come for like a second, and then I leave. But anywho, thank you for being here. Thank you
for having me.
Absolutely. I've been asking you for a long time, and you were finally like, let's do it. So
yeah.
really, really glad we did. And where can everyone find you?
I'm probably most active on Twitter, Lil Buddy Max. Like, just LIL, not little.
Okay, so Lil Buddy BUDDY Max MAX, and
exactly
on Instagram too. So that when or maybe you decide to come back, where can they find you?
I'll have to think of a name for that account. But my current account is maxr.lmao.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's it for this episode of the Hot Jewish Podcast. Thank you guys for watching at home. I did not plug myself in the beginning of this entire episode, so I'm going to plug myself now. My handle is at Hot Jewish Energy on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you catch me there once in a while when I'm not posting, you can also find me at Hot Jewish Energy. Not Hot Jewish Energy Podcast, Hot Jewish Podcast. So Hot Jewish Energy and Hot Jewish Podcast. My personal account is at Michael T. Valdes, Valdes with an S at the end. I have not plugged my personal account yet, but here we are. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, Max, for coming on, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. This is Hot Jewish Energy. If you like this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your favorite moment in the comments. If you're on any of the podcasting platforms, give us a 5-star rating and let us know your favorite part of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.